Good morning. Welcome to Ramblings with Joe. Today I have a different kind of duty at work, and it's something that I'm looking forward to. I have to give someone a road test. As lead driver, you got these different kind of things that fall out of the sky on you, and you're not really aware of what's going to happen when it happens. And so at the beginning of the week, the manager told me, "Hey, I need this guy to have a road test." So I'm going to give him a road test. I got to thinking about that last night. And as an old guy, you start seeing young people in kind of through a different lens. For some of us, they're the beginning of cataract lens, but you start to see people through that lens of old age. I don't want to call it wisdom because I don't consider myself a wise man, but you start to see young people. I'm reaching for words here because it's not exactly a tangible thing, but you start to see young people with an appreciation of what they're about to go through, of the struggles they're about to go through. Now, the people that work where I work, they're not super young. I'm not talking about an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old. These people are in their mid to late 20s and 30s. And there's still struggles ahead for them. There's still some real bad times, but there's also some really good times. And one of the things that I look back on my life and I realize that the struggles that I went through, the hardest times of my life, had some very good times mixed in with them. There were some very joyful moments. I think it's that whole yin and yang thing. You can't have one without the other. So when I was younger and I was struggling, just pick any topic, and you would think this is the absolute worst situation I have ever been in. But then you look through the lens of time, and you see it was a struggle. It was dang hard. It was so hard. But there were moments of utter joy mixed into those moments of struggle. And don't forget to see that. It is so hard to recognize the gifts that you're giving when you're going through a particular difficult situation. It's really difficult to see those moments. There was this one time where I was at a facility where some people were going through some really, really hard times. And I struggle I don't struggle. I endeavor to lighten the load wherever I can, to make someone smile, to make people appreciate that you can smile and you can have fun no matter how difficult a time you're in. And there was this one time we were sitting in a designated smoking area, and the individual was kind of new to me. I didn't know him very well, but he was so sad. He was such a sad man, a young man too, but he was very sad, and said something that made him laugh. And when he did, he snorted into the ashtray, and he covered every one of us sitting around the table in cigarette ashes. And what I said was funny. I'm sure I don't even remember what I said, but that was even funnier. So the contagion of laugh spread through the ashes of an ashtray, landing on everybody around the table. There was so much humor in that instant that everybody sitting around the table forgot what a difficult time they were going through, at least for a moment. And there was much joy and appreciation as we looked around at each other, laughing, covered in cigarette ashes, and enjoying the moment, just forgetting the trials that was going on around us and with us. Let's not forget the joys. Let's concentrate on the joy when we can. Let's lose ourselves in the joy when we can. And looking back from present day onto the lives of the youthful people around me brings me much joy. I know there are struggles ahead for them, but there's much joy also. Unfortunately, there's probably tragedy as well. but it's the yin and yang of life. It is the highs and lows. Let's not concentrate so much on the lows of life that we forget about the highs, the people who are starting on adventures in life. I used to be an advanced Dungeons and Dragons player. Of course, when you're playing that style of game, you don't actually get blisters in your feet, on your feet. I was that dungeon master occasionally that would make the players stop and look at their feet and tell them you got blisters because you're wearing the wrong shoes. Roll the die. And it would upset them because it would take a moment out of the game. But later, one of the players pulled me aside and said it brought a little bit more realism to the game, and he appreciated it. It's the yin and yang. If everything's a wonderful adventure, you never really appreciate the adventure you're going through. So here's to youth and to adventures and to tragedies. Without the lows, there are no highs. I'm going to go out and have a good day today. I'm going to go out and endeavor to make someone smile today. I hope you do the same. I hope you find peace, love, and dream. Until next time, see you around.